Wow! Character A and character B have such great chemistry. I wonder how they'd be like together in a romantic relationship.
Hey, no, you can't do that. Character A obviously loves character C.
Nuh-uh. Character C is dating character D. It's stated in canon.
Oh my
It's
god.
Oh,
literally
come on.
canon.
A
Sure,
and
they
B
may
can
not
never
be
work,
canon, but if you
and
look into the
Read
subtext,
C
their
and D,
lore, their
my
chemistry,
the
the
character
way they
development on it was so
interact with
bad.
each
I
other,
don't even
Get
consider
on.
it
you can
canon. It's not
clearly see
canon.
that they have
Fuck.
something going on.
Guys, what if we all respect our ships and accept that people have different opinions on which character should be paired?
Kill yourself.
Hello everypony, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about something a little different. Well, not entirely. Ships. If you're unaware of what ships are, the Urban Dictionary describes it as the action of wishing two people to enter a relationship, whether romantic or occasionally platonic, in books, movies, TV shows, or game franchises, etc. Some ship terminology you should probably keep in mind for this video are the abbreviated ship names, which I will explain further when we get into the details of each ship in their different sections. So the ship names that you'll have to keep in mind are Franz, Soriel, Sancest, and Fonsest. This video is heavily opinion based, therefore we will just be discussing Undertale ships, as well as people's opinions on them and my own takes on the different ships. And last thing before we start, please do not attack or harass anyone mentioned in this video along with the shippers of each different ship. It's not nice, and I do not condone it. Thank you. Starting off with Franz. Franz is the ship between SANS Undertale and Frisk from Undertale. Along with it being one of the most, if not the most popular ship in the Undertale fandom back in the day, it's also one of the most controversial ones, with Frisk being a child and SANS being a grown adult. Thus, this brings us to our first bump in the road, making us take a quick turn into the is it moral to ship it alleyway. Here not only lies Franz, but also is home to Fonsest and Sancest, which we will get into later. To answer our question, in my opinion, no. It's not moral and it makes me feel really icky when thinking about it. I do know that other people justify it as saying that they age up Frisk, and that's completely fine to me. Like, if you age them up, that's okay. But there's people that just blatantly depict them as a child in artwork, and that's really gross to me, so yeah, please don't. We're not gonna get into the whole pro-ship versus anti-ship debate here, so if you're looking for that, I do suggest Sarah Zed's video on it. I'll link it in the description below. Now that we've discussed Franz, we can jump into another controversial ship, which is Fonsest. Yay! Fonsest is the ship between Sans and Papyrus, who are commonly seen as brothers because they refer to each other as bro, and they can be shipped across AUs as well, which is why people like to justify it by saying that technically they're not related because it's across AUs. So you can, for example, ship Undersalt Papyrus with Underfell Sans, I guess, and that would make them not related. This would make us dive into the topic of does fiction affect reality, which in my personal opinion, yes, because it can desensitize us to different topics, and especially for young audiences that cannot distinct what is wrong or right, they can be affected really easily by such contents as incest and pedophilia. Well, that was a long one. Moving on to something a little bit more lighthearted, yet still extremely weird, Sancest. Before we start talking about Sancest, I have to come clean to you guys. I used to ship Sancest. I will be trying to put my bias aside for this video and look at it from a more neutral standpoint. So let's start. For this video, I will be trying to put my bias aside and look at Sancest from more a neutral perspective more than anything. And if I fail, I do apologize. Sancest is the ship between Sans and himself, aka Sans from other AUs. Sans has a lot of variations since there are many AUs that people create. It's sort of like a fanon instead of a canon. Fanon, as described by Urban Dictionary, is a term in fanfiction used to describe commonly accepted ideas among authors even if they are not actually expressed in a canon work. So as an example, I'll be using Underfell and Underswap Sans. They can be commonly shipped together even though their relationship can be portrayed as extremely toxic. But I have to say that toxic relationships can be portrayed in media as long as they're not romanticized. I have to emphasize that this is my opinion. By the way, sorry if you hear the rain in the background. It's storming really hard and I'm recording this a day later. So yeah, thank you for sticking around. Now for a surprise segment, we're going to be talking about OCX canon, especially related to SANS fangirls, but not limited to Papyrus fangirls, Mettaton fangirls, and just overall fangirls. If you know me, you know that I'm super passionate about OCX canon because I just find it so fun and there's nothing inherently wrong with it. Some people may view it as cringy, but that's really just a thing that happens when people get invested into certain fandoms. Because of course, look at how funny it is that people like a certain thing. That is so hilarious. And honestly, this can be attributed to pretty much every ship we've discussed here except the controversial ones. Well, I mean, all of them were kind of controversial in their own right, but I say controversial as in pedophilic or incestuous. Anywho, I say this because people will always inherently find the things that we do online cringy, and we just have to learn to ignore it, because if not, well, they're gonna police what we can and can't do, and we'll just end up being not allowed to do anything that we want to. If I had been afraid of starting this channel because it's cringy, I would have never gotten the following that I did or made the friends that I did, which I'm really thankful for all of my friends. Thank you guys for voicing in this video. With all of that being said, we have to look at the wider picture, aka cringe culture as a whole, and say, hey, why do I listen to that? If my thing isn't harming anyone, then why should people try to stop on what I'm doing? And that also takes us to another thing. If you don't like a ship, you're not forced to stay and watch that person create content for that ship. You can just block and move on. Simple as that. With all that being said, I think I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and have a nice day. Bye bye. Also, it's my birthday, so leave birthday wishes down below.